that Magnus had not such a good position, and then he was flashing out some very interesting moves with material down, and he was making magic.
Yeah, and I'm not sure who's trying to work the magic here. Gukesh has given up his rook for Black's bishop, and wow, Magnus' body language does not look positive. Suddenly White's won a second pawn, level material. Who's better here and why?
He's not exactly the most happy, I guess, Magnus, but I don't see what is really wrong with his position. Queen d6, rook d1.
I mean, there is a certain harmony to Black's position, and whereas White will be always pressured by the thought that his bishop on g3 is just trapped.
Oh, and question mark for Magnus's last move. It looks like the evaluation bar
e5 can be captured.
I was...
Oh, knight takes pawn is possible here.
Or bishop. Yeah,
or bishop takes.
Bishop takes or knight takes, I'm not sure.
Bishop takes, there might have been rook takes f3, so knight takes on the board. This utilizes the fact that, wow, missed opportunity according to the computer, but this looks clever. If everything is captured, then later on there would have been a nasty queen check on c4. Magnus instantly reacts with rook to a2. Was this a trap? Has he tricked Gukesh?
Well, queen c4 is still possible, having a lot of pawns for White, 3 pawns for an exchange.
Yeah, but there's something happening on f2. We had Maurice. Whoa, Gukesh has given up his queen.
Whoa.
Wow.
Bishop for queen now.
Or maybe...
Very uncomfortable position for Black. Wow, what a game. Knight c5, e5, e6.
Brilliant play by the youngster. This pawn is running. Both of White's pawns are running. This is scary for Magnus. Black's queen alone cannot fight the whole White army. Magnus needs something.
He's sacrificing a queen for a bishop and a knight. Unbelievable. I don't think it would have even entered my radar.
And what happened with this g3 bad bishop, right? It's just protecting the amazing d6 pass pawn.
Supporting this pawn, defending f2. This bishop's holding everything together for White. And bang, bang. Just 2 more moves. If White gets the pawn to e6, it's game over.
Very frustrating and very difficult position to play it with Black.
I guess Magnus is going to be pinning his hopes on establishing a blockade on the light squares. And what's happening now?
Magnus threatening the White rook. There are back rank problems for Gukesh right now. He needs to take a timeout, maybe improve the White rook.
a1.
Okay.
f3, what a nice move. Protecting it with the bishop.
White's bishop doing all of the work in this game. And what can Magnus do now? The black rook is stuck. There are all sorts of threats. White's e-pawn, in some cases, can advance.
At the same time, I'm not sure about this f3. With rook a8, rook a2, there is a target on g2 as a counter-attack.
Counterplay, potentially. It takes a while, though. Does Black have that time? The white pawns look so scary. White is threatening in some lines to just drop the white knight back as well, gain time against that black queen. And then the pawns will roll. Key moment.
What a game.
I do like that comment. We need more games like this. I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, fire on the board. Magnus now ticking close to 2 minutes on the clock, whereas for Gukesh, 5 minutes. And Magnus grabbing the pawn. It's a big question for Gukesh. Can he push the e-pawn to its destination? What a game.
I think you have to take a time out, maybe move that white knight out the way first, but either way, not just the speed with which he's playing, just the way he's kind of moves to the pieces. Gukesh, he reminds me of a young Anand from the videos I've seen. Just
can't e6
so
be a winning move? E6, giving up the knight, and e7?
And then the black rook moves. The problem is...
d7. But where do you move?
d7 at, let's say,
where
e8.
do you move it? Then d7.
And then there's a
queen
queen
d4.
check at the
Sorry,
end.
Queen d4.
So white cannot push yet. Wow, h3, taking a time out.
Yeah, I like that. I had this in mind, king to h2.
No rush. No need to rush, and Magnus is going for your plan, Judith. He needs counterplay.
That's the only way to do it, right? I would go knight g4 somehow, so to try to push e6, though after that king e6 comes already. White can go wrong easily.
Yeah, both sides can go wrong. Magnus under 2 minutes, but he gains increment in 7 moves time. The white knight needs to get out of the way for the pawns to roll. It's a race. I don't believe that Magnus can create enough counterplay if white is accurate, but how to be accurate with only a few minutes on your clock? So many tempting moves. White's knight has to retreat, surely. That looks like step one.
Yeah, but the question is where, because wherever you're going to be retreating here, knight king e6 will be positioning itself, maybe knight e4 with the idea of bishop f2 and knight c5. But I also understand this decision to play d7 because he's very much afraid that rook a2 is coming.
Is it time to give a check to the king, centralize the queen?
Yeah, the black queens can centralize. You can maybe make an argument for blockading with the black king as well. Lots of options here for Magnus. 1.5 minutes now, though. Such a hard position to defend.
Extremely dangerous.
Follows your advice, Ivanka. That's a check. Queens are best in the center of the board.
Yeah.
Will White drop the bishop back to block or just hide his king? He hides the king.
Okay, and the big question is, are the pawns racing down? That's why the king steps forward and blockades the pawn, and Magnus down on time. Just over 1 minute left, and the position is so wild.
But right now it seems like black stabilized a little bit because the bishop cannot move, because of the e5 might be under attack, and anyway it doesn't have a space. The knight cannot move now, which is very important because the d7 pawn is under attack, so it's not so easy for white to continue. Rook c1 maybe to attack. It's very difficult to make the right move, I believe.
Magnus taking a sip of his water there. I'm getting flashbacks as well. When Gukesh beat Magnus in the Norway Chess Blitz just a few days ago, that was also a crazy material imbalance. That was a queen for knight and 2 pawns. And here it's like queen for bishop, knight and 2 pawns. It's crazy how that game is being mirrored right now. And okay, indecision there. Hesitation from Gukesh. What's he going to do? It feels like he's going to move his rook. Where to put that piece? Is he going to go attack that black queen? Is he going to slide the rook to c1 as Judith mentioned there? I like the comment in the feature chat. Gukesh is in Tal mode, but Tal finishes things off. That's the difference. How is Gukesh going to finish this game? He needs to get that win. Remember, a draw not sufficient. Rook c1 met calmly by c5. Black's got a passed pawn as well. Some source of counterplay.
Rook b1 trying to get to b6.
Yeah, and then the black pawn will roll. So complicated.
Yeah, the pressure is on, and Gukesh now ticking to under 1 minute and 40 seconds. Is the time to kind of step back with the knight and pin all hopes on the e-pawn, because White's rook is just not joining in the action.
He does indeed step back with the knight, but now the d-pawn drops. You feel that that was White's pride and joy, really. But maybe it needed to be done.
I like actually this move from the perspective that bishop f2 after rook c5 will be very strong. But of course it's a shame that the d7 passed pawn is gone.
Oh, and Magnus not actually capturing that pawn. Oh, he means business, and instead pushing the pawn to c4. Wow.
But now rook d2, rook c2, then rook a1, right?
If the rook slides up, then black can actually get back down behind on White's first rank with rook a1 and queen g1 ideas. Okay, knight d6, he's jumping in. Can Magnus keep his pawn alive, or is it time finally to capture that scary white d-pawn? Look at Gukesh kind of taking that peek up at the screen now. He's getting 1 second increment in a few moves' time. Both players under the 1 minute mark. No way back from here. It's going to be eternal time travel. I think I would just take that pawn. Too scary.
No, Magnus is in a confident mood. I think he's going to push the pawn on c3.
Then knight b5, maybe?
Oh, you're right, Ivanka.
Or back.
And now it comes back. Maybe that pawn's life was short-lived after all.
And rook d3 is threatening.
Big threat. Magnus
So,
has to move his king.
Okay, one will be a blunder.
What is he? Oh, okay. I thought he was going to put his king on a bad square there. He retreats out of the way of any knight checks.
Rook c6, very powerful.
Still threats on the board. Magnus moving his queen away. And black is on the verge of going on a counterattack. But whoa, the evaluation bar leaps up. There is now a win for Gukesh.
Apparently e6 is a winning move right now, pushing the white pawn, and black's
And
king
bishop e5.
Yeah, black's king is caught in the crossfire. Oh, that would have been a mating net, but he misses it, Gukesh. Black queen comes back now, but he's still putting the pressure on, still threats. Rook d2 threatened now, pinning that black queen to its king.
Magnus, less than 10 seconds, less than 5 seconds. Oh, getting a 1 second increment. That is nothing.
You feel that maybe that was the one moment that Gukesh could have cashed in, and suddenly he's repeating with his bishop, the black rook getting behind counterplay, the white king not safe.
You see the relief of Magnus? Look at the body language. For the moment, I'm in safety.
But he only has 3 seconds left on the clock and only gets a 1 second increment.
But on the board.
Well, there's not just the board though.
Bishop,
Check.
But now the other white pawn has disappeared. All of white's winning chances are falling with the fall of his pawns. And, okay, a bunch of quick moves.
Oops,
Gukesh, those
gone.
put his knight
Knight
on a
is
blue
gone.
square.
Wow. Blunder the knight on e6.